honk.
What is up, Cobra Kai fans? You like the honk?
That intro is great.
I always love it seeing the people. If some people notice it, I'm just like, okay. But I'm glad you got a kick out of that. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I have my special guest today, Vas Sanchez, who played Nestor in Cobra Kai Seasons 1, 2, and 4. Vas, it's awesome to have you on, man.
Thanks for having me. A blast. I love it. Love seeing all the fans. Happy to be here.
For sure, man. It's so cool to finally have you on. I mean, your character Nestor is a character that's very low key. You know, he's kind of there, but like, you know, there's so much he knows, especially with all the things going on with Cobra Kai. I mean, the amount of people he's met since, you know, that first episode for Cobra Kai, just meeting Johnny for the first time, and then, you know, Daniel comes in, and then all this stuff with Amand, and then recently with Terry Silver, you know, just saying like, who the hell is this guy, and all the shit going down. It's crazy. But before we talk about Cobra Kai and, you know, season 4 and get into that, I'd love to know, like, what got you into acting and this industry that you're in?
Yeah, I started when I was young, and I started doing a lot of stage stuff, mostly. And I had a friend who said that I should meet his agent, and when she met me, and she was like, "Oh, you'll be great for film." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." And so it was just kind of the beginning of that. Was in my early 20s, and I just hit the ground running and never stopped, you know. And I love it. I'm addicted to it. It's a wonderful world to be a part of, and like I said before, like the fans are really what make all of this so worth it. It's incredible to see the support and the love for the thing you're doing. It's really cool.
Right, like this fandom for Cobra Kai, it's just growing and growing, and like even like side characters and the smaller characters, they're getting so much love, which is great to see, and I think just shows you how much people are invested in this show.
Yes.
Yeah, like with this show, obviously it was a big deal with bringing back the Karate Kid in some form. When you first came onto the show, did you think this show was going to get massively like popular at some point, or were you kind of like, oh, this could go either way?
I was definitely in a this could go either way camp. I loved it because I was a huge fan of the Karate Kid growing up. I mean, you can kind of see back. I have like Bruce Lee posters in my studio and stuff in the background there.
Oh, that's badass. Love
Bruce
that.
They're the Warriors, you know, things like that. But yeah,
the Warriors. Oh, that's one of my favorite films, man.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up loving this genre and this stuff, and like when I got the script, I was like, wow, like I love where they're taking this story. And but you know, at the time we were YouTube Red, so I thought we'll just see. You know, it wasn't on such a scale as Netflix, and so there was this idea that it could have gone either way. But again, I don't want to keep harping on it, but it's the fans. The fans are what made it so desirable and so great. After one season on being on YouTube, it just exploded, and I loved every moment. I loved every single minute of like all of the development and how we went from kind of not knowing what it would be to, you know, we're 5 seasons deep. I mean, it's awesome.
So, right. Yeah. And like you said, I feel when there's a this isn't necessarily a reboot or a remake, it's just a continuation. But with 80s franchises, you know, like a lot of people get worried about, oh, is it gonna, they're bringing it back, what they're doing, don't like ruin what the original was. But these creators, John, Hayden, Josh, and everybody that works on the show, just immensely passionate about this story. And like you said, they were fans. You're a fan of the Karate Kid. They are fans, super fans, and they just brought back the show with all that love. And I think that's what everybody wants in something that's resonated with something very successful like the Karate Kid. You know, you don't want to ruin it, and it's in the best possible hands. So this show is just getting better and better. So let's say the first time you met William and some of these guys on set, I mean, it must have been surreal because, like you said, you were a fan of the films growing up. Like, run me through that experience.
Oh man, it truly was like it took a minute for me to be like, wow, like these are the guys, like, you know, and getting to work with Bill Zabka. I mean, he's amazing. They're all incredible. There was not a single person from the beginning to the end that I would want to work with again. They're all the best people to work with. But yeah, instantly, he's very, very kind as a person. He's just a super nice guy. So we chatted, we talked, and then immediately when we got into the scene, it just kind of reads in his eyes. He just becomes Johnny. And I was like, man, it's like it's him all over again. And it was really cool to see, like they just kind of did his hair up, and he, again, he just becomes this character. He's down in the pizza thing, and it's all eyes. And I was like, this is Johnny. Like, this is crazy. And it was really fun. We had a lot of fun. And I have to, it's because of, I think, our on-screen chemistry and just having a good time that I was able to really flesh out the role of Nestor and take the opportunity that Bill kind of provided. He was just kind of like, I like this character. I think it's funny. I think we kind of work really fun against each other. So we'll keep it, and we'll just let it ride. So there was a lot of support from him going, in the beginning of just like, let's make sure this guy's got some more scenes and see some more of these interactions. But it really was like, from a fan point of view, it was surreal. It was very like, I cannot believe that I even threw out a little like sweep the leg moment, and he just kind of, gave me like I was like, I had to say it, what can I say? Like, it's Johnny, but it was really incredible. Really, really great. Really great.
Yeah. Like, I love the moment when you're grabbing the pizza and Johnny's just like, you're going to wear any gloves? And then like you say something to Miguel, and then then he says, you obviously asked Miguel what you said, and he says, oh, you tell him he has a tiny wang. Like, that whole scene is just so funny. And
it was so much fun to work on. And like I said, when I got that script, I was cracking up because I thought, like, this is beautiful. But yeah, that was sort of the guy's direction too. Like, when we got on set and the pizzas were there, I kind of was looking for, I worked in restaurants my whole life. So I was like, where are the tongs to like grab this pizza? And they kind of were like, just grab it. And I was like, that's disgusting. And they're like, exactly.
It is.
So, it's like that fun moment where you realize even the creators are getting in on the like idea of how far can we push some of these characters, and like, what do we want to see happen, and how will it spark the Johnny character to react and things like that. So it was a blast. We must have done like 14 different takes of that scene just for fun. Yeah, it was great. They kept making my hands like really, really gross. Like they kept they put like this mud wash on my nails, and like they put I know. I was like, as a food person, I was like, this is disgusting. Like,
you would feel exactly like Johnny if that was like you asking for the pizza. So it's definitely like just grim looking at that. But I was wondering, so with that scene, was did you have like different lines or different like improv from all the takes, or was that pretty much the intended line? Like, you just kind of, that was the version you always wanted to go for?
It was always that, but at the same time, they wanted different sort of energies with it. So we played with a little bit more aggressiveness or a little more passiveness, depending on just some different moves. How long I held onto the pizza kind of was a thing, just little moves like that. And I mean, it was me that went looking for the plate, like I grabbed the pizza, and then I was like, well, what'll make this even funnier is I don't have anything to put it on. So in my head, I was like, the logic of this guy now trying to find a plate while holding the slice and just So I really was leaning into that. But yeah, we were just being playful with it a lot. And there was, again, but the lines kind of stayed. And it was really fun because every time we do it, right after they'd say cut, we'd all just start cracking up because it's so gross. But again, it was so much fun. It was just a delight to work on. And being that it was my first episode with them, like I was still so starstruck for like that whole day. It took a while to finally like come down. But yeah, it was phenomenal.
It was quite historic as well, that episode, like reintroducing the Karate Kid to new generations, these characters in like a different way, and just that fight scene as well. Did you get to see because obviously you were on set for shooting, did you actually see the moment like Zabka landed his first kick or Johnny Lawrence in about 30 years?
Yeah. They it was right outside of the store, and he fights the kids and everything. And so like the I was kind of on break. I wasn't in that shot, so I was off on my chair, but I got to see them set up all the stunt work and all of the camera angle and everything they were trying to accomplish. And it was really, really cool to like see all that go down. It was a real like moment for me because it was just to watch them build again a Karate Kid scene was just so special. So it was really fun. And again, the seasons have been rewarding me in that fandom, and obviously you guys in that fandom as well, in that every time we get another episode, we get little like nods to the Karate Kid films. And then of course, when they layer in these really rich, fun, incredible characters coming back, like Marty Cove coming back, and again, Terry Silver, like bringing these characters back to us is such a reward. And even being a fan and an actor, it's even bigger, because if I could go back in time and tell, 12-year-old me, like, you're going to meet that guy one day. Not only are you going to meet him as an actor, you're going to meet him as that character. I would have never believed that, but it's incredible to have those opportunities. And I feel very grateful to have met them, seen them, spoke with them on both levels. I got to meet, Marty Cove and Sensei Kreese. Like, I got to meet both of those people in real life, in real time. And it was just like, so it's truly incredible. So I feel the fandom a lot.
Yeah. Did you so you obviously because Daniel's been in the store a few times, you got to meet Ralph as well?
Absolutely. Ralph's an incredible human being. Again, everyone on this production, just all of them are just top 10 kinds of people, like the best. But Ralph is he's a really, really professional actor, really focused. He's got a great sense of the story and everything, and a really great sense of his character, just where he wants to go with Daniel. And again, just a real amazing human being, because my life, I took karate when I was a kid. And the reason I took karate was because of the Karate Kid. And when I was young, I had to take Okinawan karate. I told my mom I didn't want to take any other kind of karate. I want to take Okinawan karate. So she had to find Okinawan karate. So we found the dojo, and I took Okinawan Shorin-ryu when I was growing up. And I did it because of the Karate Kid. And I had that conversation with Ralph, and he was so he was so receptive and so appreciative of it. And then what's even crazier is I went on to, when I got way older, I started playing blues harmonica, and I played the harmonica because of the movie Crossroads. And I was such a big fan, and I told him that too. And he was like, wow. He's like, I guess I really influenced a lot of your life. And I was like, yeah, I guess, man, I love all your stuff. So again, it was a good moment to get to meet him. And again, meeting Daniel LaRusso, and then also getting to meet Ralph Macchio, and seeing these two people that I know in my life, become real, was really special, really, really important and cool for me.
For sure. Like, you pretty much met all these main characters in the show now, because like you met Johnny in season 1 and Daniel. Then obviously you've even some of the younger characters, like Robbie Miguel. And then obviously Terry Silver in season 4, which, I mean, to see Thomas back, he absolutely smashed it in season 4.
Amazing.
What was it like? How did it feel like being a character that's sort of like, he is what he is, but like he just has like an interesting perspective on things, especially moments that are very important for the story.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nestor ultimately, these kids are his like source of income. Like, they come in, they buy snacks, they buy nudie magazines, they buy all kinds of stuff. And he just exists in this world of like, I think another business goes in next door. Oh, karate dojo. Okay, cool. More kids to come by and buy my stuff. And so when he sees these moments that occur outside of the store, I think it's really funny that Nestor, as big as they are in the story, he doesn't necessarily care, because he's like, I should come in here and buy something. I don't really care. So it's really fun as a fan to be like, this moment is huge, but as a character to be like, what's going on outside? I don't care, and it makes a really fun juxtaposition, because he's just very like, can't really be bothered, while the rest of the world is like, oh my gosh, this grown adult man is fighting children outside.
Yeah, it is hilarious, because I feel like especially after season 4 now, with CK relocated, do you think Nestor's kind of glad like he won't have so much of this like karate nonsense coming into the store now? Or do you think like he's kind of like, No, I kind of want to. These guys are like my source of income, like you said.
I definitely am like, no, I need these guys around. So I hope we get a new dojo. I don't know. I hope we get Fang maybe. I don't know. Um, you know, I think the kids all coming of age too is really cool, and I think it was really fun to start with those kids being very like innocent and real pranky and coming into the store just goofing off a lot. And now we don't see that as much because they're growing up. They don't need to come in and get candy and booze and nudie mags. Like they're a little more, they're more concerned with their friendships and their relationships with the people in their classes and stuff. And so we're seeing a lot more of that. And I like that. I think it's a really important focus of real life. When you're a kid, you always run into the gas station, get a ton of candy, a ton of soda, you get hopped up on sugar, and that's the whole day. But whenever you get a little bit older, it really becomes about where are we hanging out? What are we doing? What am I wearing? Little things like that. So I think it's interesting how we are moving away from the store a little bit. I hope for not forever, but
Yeah.
who knows? I was glad to be a part of it when I was. So.
Right. This is a funny question. So you said you did karate in real life, which is awesome to hear, especially Okinawan karate.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, if Nestor was to do karate, which dojo do you think would suit him best? And then after you've answered that, which dojo would you see yourself in? I think that's kind of obvious now, as you said the style of karate you went for.
Sure. Myself as an actor, I'm Miyagi-Do. I am Miyagi-Do. But Nestor, ultimately, I really fully believe that Eagle Fang would be where Nestor ends up because Cobra Kai is really, really like extreme and really militant and very like, they're demanding a lot. I think, Nestor's a pretty lazy guy, and I don't know that he would give 100% of his life to it like they demand. I think he would give a decent amount to it. So I think the Eagle Fang really suits Nestor's needs for any kind of self-defense in that it's aggressive enough. It's not too passive aggressive. It's aggressive enough. But I feel like it's more relaxed. They don't really have like an official gi. They don't barely have an official logo, so it's a little more Nestor's speed. I think he could get down with some Eagle Fang.
I would love to see your character. I mean, this is another question though. Like, if it is a character you would like Nestor to interact with that you haven't, who would you say? I would like to see you interact with Stingray because I feel like you got that similar energy. It would be quite funny to see that.
I would love to interact with Stingray. He's a great performer, great comedic actor. So I aspire to his level of acting. So would love to interact with him. I've interacted, I think, with all the right characters. Like, I don't know that Nestor would ever interact with certain other characters. Like, it would have been cool, I think, to interact a little bit with Tori because she's so like rough and mean, and it would have been kind of fun if she like came in and was just giving me a bunch of crap talk in the store, or something. I think she would have been really fun to sort of like, give her a little sass would have been cool.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I really love every interaction that I had, and I think that it's important that the ones that I did interact with were all the right ones. I would have loved to interact with Elizabeth Shue. That would have been that would have just been a fan moment for me. It would have been incredible to have Elizabeth Shue in my store. But hey, good enough for what we got.
It'll be interesting because like maybe Nestor would be super nice to Ali, whereas with the others he's kind of like straight up like just give me your money, get the hell out of here.
Oh man, Nestor totally would have been like, wow, hi, how are you?
Oh, that was amazing. I mean, with but in the opposite sense, with like someone like Terry Silver, I mean, before he kind of scared Nestor, what was it like? Seeing Thomas as well, again, like him returning, a lot of fans wanted to see that, and we got that. And just to see him come back just like that after so many years, I mean, wow, he absolutely smashed it.
It was a really, really cool thing. Like I assumed that's what they were doing after watching it, reading everything. Then they sent me the script, and I read it, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And like when I got on set and my first day there, and I got to like see him. Like I was like, man, like this takes me way back. It just was so cool. But he's all these bad guys are like the nicest people. Like Marty Cove could be the sweetest gentleman on the planet. Like I tell you now, that man has the biggest heart. Like almost bigger than all of them. And yet he can play like the meanest moments. And yeah, the Terry Silver character is so calculated and cold, and Thomas, he's so funny and nice. So it was really cool to meet him. And again, another really intense moment for me because I grew up watching this, and here was the Cobra, the villain from Karate Kid 3, you know, like whoa. And it was big, but it was like he was so gracious and cool and kind and really fun. And we had that moment was really fun to work out. He did a lot of work with just getting like the intense eyes. The shot you guys don't see, you know, you see it from the back of his head looking at me, you know, and I'm like, if you're going to buy something, you're not going to buy something, like, get out. But like the way that it looked from him, it's like he was really, really, really like intensely giving me like a say something else. And I was like, oh God, like these
seems okay. You could take your time. Yeah.
So wild. I was like, whoa, it's okay. Whatever, man. We had a lot of fun improvising too. We didn't really keep any of the scenes afterwards, but after, when I was like, it's cool, you know, I was like, hey, you want some pizza? Like I did a lot of like little riffs on stuff. At one point I grabbed a slice and was like, do you want some pizza? Just trying to get it back to like season 1, episode 1. But yeah, we never kept any of it. I think it would don't want.
That'd have been amazing to see Terry go like, I don't need your pizza.
I would have loved for Terry to just like whoosh, just punch the pizza.
Just kicks it out your hand.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
Just like asa, and then like kicks it.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. Is there any scenes, if you are from memory, like that didn't actually make it in with any of the seasons that you've done, even with Ken Division, who played Armand, because he was again fantastic. Like, yeah, is there any scenes that kind of got cut that you kind of remember?
So season 3, when we open with all of there's like a news report, right? It's like a lot of people reporting on these kids being violent at school, and there are different neighborhood people just kind of being like, "Oh, this is terrible. Not my kids. Not this school." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I had a moment as well where they kind of cut to the store owner. Yeah, and they decided not to go with it, but it was a lot of fun either way, and that was really incredible because the physical mini mart where we filmed everything at that point in time was not available to be used as a set. So they built the whole mini mart inside the soundstage. Wow. And like they invited me to set that day, and I was like, "Oh, we're not going to be on location." And they're like, "No, we built the whole thing here." And I was like, "What?" And I walked into the studio, and the whole mini mart, the whole corner was built in the soundstage, and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, Hollywood magic is incredible. And we did this whole scene out front of the mini mart where it was basically Nestor stating things like, "Oh, the kids these days they don't know anything about fighting." You know, when I was growing up, we played video games. You know, I was like, and I was a big video game fighter because the whole thing was like, does video games cause violence? And I was like, no. My favorite video games were Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Double Dragon. Like I went off on this whole 80s or 90s retro tangent, and it was fun. But we ended up cutting that.
Oh, that's a shame. That would have been awesome because, like, just seeing Nestor back, and then just the fact the lines you were saying were quite funny as well.
Yeah,
yeah. Thanks for sharing that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would only imagine, like, it's funny because you said about the way like Nestor sees the kids. I've noticed he has like a little handshake with Robbie in season 4, and also like with Miguel, he was like talking to him in his language, and I find that interesting. He kind of gets on with the younger guys, whereas the older guys kind of like piss him off.
Yeah,
kind of seems like he's more about the younger guys.
Yeah, Nestor lives in between world. He's not a grown up. Like he doesn't want to grow up. He doesn't want to take on the responsibility of being an adult. He likes the kids. He relates to the kids. He thinks he's young and cool. We have the whole rapport with Hawk about flipping the bat to the moon and like talking about the game. Miguel and I are both Latino, and so like there's a note to the community there of being like, I see you, you're my boy. And then Robbie comes in season 4 here, and like the handshake was something that Tanner did with me, and I thought it was great. He just did it. He just walked in and reached out, and we dapped each other up, and we kept it because I liked this idea that everyone knows Nestor. Like all these kids come in and they have their own different agendas, and they all come in for different things. Some kids come in to actually get some food. Some kids just come in to try and get booze, some just candy, and some just to get out of the way, just to hang out and be inside the store. But like Nestor's so chill that these kids have definitely used and abused that relationship in the best possible way. They have gotten cigarettes and booze. They've gotten, they've stole stuff. Nestor doesn't care. Like Nestor's like, whatever, done that. So I think it is a really cool moment to realize that like all the kids have this really fun relationship with Nestor. And then the adults just see him as like an obnoxious human being that doesn't take his job serious enough.
Right. I love the fact you brought up about games and like just gaming within that scene, because you're also obviously talking about the Warriors and all these films you were saying prior. Have you ever played the Warriors game? It was on PS2. It was probably the one game I grew up with a lot.
Yeah, I played the Warriors game a little bit, very little bit. I remember a lot, but I used to love all those games too. I loved all the fighting games when I was growing up. I'm still obsessed with Mortal Kombat. I love
MK11, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there was a ton of really cool games back in the day for like Super Nintendo. Like Primal Rage was really cool. You like dinosaurs fighting each other. And like, I forget, there was one that was like, you were like clay. It was like clay animation fighting each other. I forget what that was called, but that was a really cool game too. I loved any of that fighting, side-scrolling fighting style stuff. Like Marvel versus Capcom, that will eat up days of my life if it is in front of me. It will eat up days of my life because I think
the second one, I smashed that out with my brother a lot back in the day. It was so fucking good, man. It was just so addictive.
And Marvel, there's SNK as well, which is really
SNK, good. Dude. Oh,
so amazing. Good. Tons of good fighting games. Love that. Love.
How would you rank them? This is a bit of a curveball now. How would you rank Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, and maybe one of those other games?
Man, that's tough. For me, I think Mortal Kombat was kind of the number one because all the external parts of the game, like not only. First and foremost, when Mortal Kombat 1 came out, you had to do this stupid complex ABACABB code on your save.
God.
It's all memorized, man. I can't let it. It's all still in here. In order to unlock the blood for like uppercuts and punches to get them to bleed, you had to go ABACABB at the very beginning of the game when they came up with like a little disclaimer scene, and it would turn red, and you knew you got it. And then down, up, left, A, right, down was the other code to unlock stuff. But that game, when it started, was just so cool. You could uppercut someone off the, and they would fall into the spikes and like fatalities. That was so incredible and so like,
love edgy.
It. And then probably coming in at number 2, I think honestly, like I would normally say Street Fighter, but I think in the same vein, I would say probably Tekken. Because, man, I loved Tekken. I loved Tekken, especially when we get into Tekken Tag and we were like tagging in and out.
Tekken Tag is so good.
Oh, that was such a fun game. And I mean, my brother and I would play that ad nauseum and get mad at each other. It was so much fun.
I can relate.
He was so good at using Yoshimitsu, and he would do that flea.
He pissed me off, Yoshimitsu, especially a computer.
The stab. There was like the samurai stab that would take almost all of your life, and I was like, if you do that one more time, like I swear to God, like that.
He kind of reminds me of like Blanca on like a hard difficulty. Just it keeps grabbing you and stuff. You're trying to like get hit. You can't.
Yeah, and the same with Dawson too. If you didn't time out your jumps right,
Dawson
fire would get you. But yeah, I used to. Oh man, I love those games, dude. I think that's my rank though. Probably like Mortal Kombat at 1. Tekken kind of in the number 2 spot, and then coming in third are all the world of like Street Fighter Turbo, Marvel versus SNK, Marvel versus Capcom, all that stuff. Neo Geo, all that stuff was like on that vein of like the cartoon fighting was great. There was one, I can't even remember what it was called back in the day. There was Eternal Champions. That was another cool one too on Sega. But there was another one too that was in that same Capcom vein, and now I forget.
Is it Kings of Fury?
Not Kings of Fury. I forget what it was, man. And I used to love playing it. There was like, I can't think of any of the characters right now either. I'm like blanking completely. There was like a zombie dude with like an electric guitar. His like rib cage would come out. He was really cool. There was like a mummy. There was I don't know. It was like a bunch of weird, spooky characters. It was maybe somebody in the comments knows. But
there was a game. I don't know if this is the right game, but I did play a game called Bloody Raw, and like these.
Love that game. Not that game, but love that game.
It was underrated as hell. Damn, there's so many fighting games. Like this genre is amazing. You must have played EX plus Alpha. That's one of my favorite Street Fighter games of all time.
Great Street Fighter game. God, good one.
Especially when you can unlock Evil Ryu and just start using the same stuff as Akuma. Oh,
yes.
So badass.
All the Akuma stuff, man. Akuma, what a good character. All of that was so cool. Love those games, man.
Have you played like the recent ones as well then? Like the recent Tekkens, the recent Mortal Kombat.
The most recent Mortal Kombat I played was, I guess it's 11. I have that one on my PS4. That one I played. That's probably the most recent fighting game I've played. I haven't really got into too much because unfortunately I grew up and I have like a life and I can't play as much as I used to. But I have MK11 and I've enjoyed a lot of MK because the fatalities are amazing in MK11 and the move structure is really cool too and all the combos are great. But I haven't had a chance to play any of the new Tekken. I love Tekken, so I really need to pick that up and start playing again. Somebody said Killer Instinct arcade version. That's such a good game. I remember Killer Instinct. It's so good. I forget the name of that other game I was talking about, but it was so good too. Dark Shadows or something. I forget. Anyway, it was great.
I haven't even asked you this. Which character do you play as when you play MK? Because I have two in particular.
I'm sort of I'm kind of a classic ninja head, so like I love Scorpio. But
my brother played him, and I would be Sub-Zero, he'd be Scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpio's kind of the like easiest to play, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Like most people who play Scorpio are like some button pressers, like just really like. But I love his moves and I love his fatalities and stuff. I love Sub-Zero, but I love any of the ninjas are awesome. Like Reptile, all of those guys are super cool. But I play Scorpio most of the time. Scorpio.
Also, Kung Lao. If we ever play, all I'm gonna say is you ain't gonna beat me as Kung Lao. I'm serious. I love playing as that guy. He is. I really smash it out when I get the chance to play as Kung Lao. I love the mechanics. I know like Sub-Zero is great, but he can be a bit slow. But seriously, dude, if you have PlayStation, we should play some MK.
Yeah,
that'd be super dope. I don't know. This is fun fact that you might know this already, but you know the Russo brothers who directed the Avengers films and some of the Captain America films. They actually are. Well, it was a few years ago. They were actually working on a Warriors series, and I think it was 2016. I think they brought that up, but I don't know what's happened with that. I'd love to see that though.
Yeah, I would love to see more of this sort of like we're getting a lot of these reboots, you know, and these sort of like sequels and things like that. And I love that. I think it's really cool that that's sort of where these directors and these writers are at now. They are the fans that I was creating the stuff that I love. So I would love to see more of the Warriors stuff. I haven't heard what they've done with that property and what they're going to do with it, but I would absolutely love to see where they could take that. It'd be interesting only because that was the Warriors was such a moment in New York history where New York was in a transition between becoming the new amazing city that it is today and sort of the grimier, grittier city that it was. It was like right in that middle ground. And so that story really showcases and tells a tale of New York when there wasn't enough sort of police street. Like there was just a ton of people running the streets. And of course it's an exaggeration, but I'd be really interested to see where they take that now. Like what is it? Would it still be in New York? Would it, because I mean, New York now is a fully different place. It's like completely different. I can't even picture that reality. But I'd love to see what they do with it. You know, I'd love to see what they could pick up with that property. Cause that's a classic. That movie is a classic. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. And just speaking of like, again, the action genre, I mean, have to talk about your experience at Castle Falls. You got to work with Dolph and Scott Adkins. I mean, dude, that must have been so fun to be part of something like that.
Castle Falls was a really special experience. Dolph is an incredible director, a great human being. Again, coming from my age, my time watching movies. At this point, I just really want to work with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then I'll quit. I'll be done because we'll check off all the boxes I need. The fact that they put Bloodsport in,
I was about to say,
like that was such a we were talking about that on set during season 2. So like the fact that it was there, like we were all chatting about how much we love Bloodsport and stuff like that, and the fact that it was there made me so happy. Like I was just like, that's awesome. And when I was working on Castle Falls, Scott and I, we were on like this break between scenes, and it was just like, this is how we became really tight on set, was because we just started chatting about everything from the 80s and 90s fighting movies. It was awesome. It was so good. The producer, the main executive producer for Castle Falls, is also the main executive producer for Universal Soldier. So I got to meet him and talk to him about his production time on Universal Soldier. And that was like one of my favorite movies, Dolph. And I mean, I got to chat with Dolph briefly. He doesn't talk too much about Masters of the Universe, but that was probably my favorite Dolph Lundgren moment, aside from Ivan Drago. But I did love Masters of the Universe. And it's just fun stuff like that. Dolph is just he's an incredible human being. Scott, awesome dude. Scott is an awesome dude.
Absolute badass, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working on that film. That was a blast. But yeah, like I said, if I can work with Jean-Claude Van Damme at this point, I think I'll be good. Like I think that's right where I need to be.
You can retire happy.
I'll retire. That's the end of it for me.
I mean, I loved it when they showed that, especially the moment Kyla's like, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah. Like he does the hitting the ball. That was hilarious.
It's so good.
That era, I mean, the action, I mean, I would love to see some cameos in Cobra Kai, with like someone like Scott Adkins or, just people on that sort of level of fighting. We could just see them showcase the moment in Cobra Kai. Wouldn't that just be so cool?
It would be. And, at this point, because of you guys, because of these fans, the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys just keep asking about this stuff. Keep tweeting it. Keep putting it out there. Keep making material like this. Talk to all of us as actors. I tell you right now, Josh, Hayden, they all see this stuff. Like, they all watch this stuff. They love you guys. Like, you have no idea how much they appreciate the fandom. When you get on set and you talk to them, they rave about how awesome you all are. So, like, I'm reporting to you, the fans. Keep it up. We love you. They love you. So whatever you guys are wishing for, put it out there, because they are seeing it. They are loving all of the input, and they will most likely make it happen. And I would absolutely love to see Scott on Cobra Kai sometime, and it'd be even more incredible. And I would lose my mind if Jean-Claude Van Damme showed up. Like as a judge at the All Valley or something. Like,
my god! Like or just imagine, imagine he just like. Imagine they make him the character from Bloodsport,
right?
And they just like maybe they kind of just play on that. Something cool in that sense would be super cool. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme in that, or Sly showing up, or Dolph, any of those guys.
Oh my god,
that would. I couldn't imagine what it would do.
It would be so cool. I would just love to see like an All Valley tournament, and then like you cut to the audience, you just see Jean-Claude Van Damme clapping at somebody, and then just him looking at the camera and being like, like if he'd have done a split, it would have been better, and just like walk away from here. Like I would have been like, that's the coolest ever.
Yeah. Sorry, my camera's gonna focus some reason. Oh, there we go. Honestly, stuff like that. I mean, like you said, like you're putting it out there. I mean, that's what I love about these creators. Like I said, they're big fans of the Karate Kid. They have that. They understand how fans feel about things, and that's why they do these things that we love. And honestly, I think we could both easily agree that if any of those guys showed up that we mentioned, even others, I mean, wow, I know for a fact if God rest his soul, but if Bruce Lee was still alive, I'm pretty sure he would have been so down for a cameo. I mean, I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar spoke a little bit about Cobra Kai a while ago, and he said Bruce Lee would have definitely loved the show, like the way they went about it and everything.
Bruce, yeah, I think Bruce Lee has been my ultimate, like, my sensei my whole life. So I read all of his books and I studied Jeet Kune Do for years. Never really being able to exact it or actually use it, but loved studying it, and I loved his philosophy. This man was such an incredible force in both acting and in martial arts, and to see everything that he did in such a short period of time, he put so much out in the world and created such incredible stuff. And if Bruce was still here today, or even Brandon, if either one of them were here today.
Oh, Brandon definitely as well.
I think they would both entertain and really love just a nod cameo in Cobra Kai. And that would be unreal. That would be unreal to have one of those dudes show up. I mean, it'd be unreal to have any of these cats show up. But for me, it was unreal just to see Marty Cove. So again, the possibilities are endless. Like, you just got to keep putting this stuff out there, and people, the producers, the writers, Hayden, all those guys, they see it, they love it, and they're like, yeah, let's do that. Like, they get excited about it. So
right,
it's cool. And yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, I think Bruce would be really excited to see a lot of
that would have been I would love to see him, like, imagine him interacting with like Johnny or Daniel or Chosen or just any of those characters, like Kreese or Terry. It would have been so badass.
It would be so cool. But yeah, we can keep dreaming for others. I mean, Jet Li would be cool if we could get, Tony Jaa, any of those guys. There's so many great fighters.
Oh, Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so
cool to just show up and be like, love your dojo. I don't know. Someone like Dave Bautista would be really cool.
That would be hilarious. Yeah.
It'd be a trip just to see these guys. Some of these worlds just kind of cross over would be really fun. But you don't know.
It's pretty surreal. It's like Andrew Garfield found out he was a huge fan of Cobra Kai. Like, I'm a big Marvel fan. For me to see that, I was like, wow, that's how many others like this show that haven't really said about it? I mean, that's that is something you're always wondering.
It's really cool to see the other celebrities that have the fandoms for the stuff that you're working on, and they're just people too. They're just trying to watch some fun TV in their downtime, and it's great when they attach themselves to the same lore that you enjoy and the same sort of like nostalgia that you enjoy. They enjoy it too. A lot of why they got into doing what they do is because of storylines like Karate Kid,
right,
and things like that. And I mean, it was part of the reason why I do what I do. So like, knowing these guys and knowing what I know, there's a lot of folks out there, the celebrity world, that are really into Cobra Kai, and I love that. I think, and again, it only speaks to how much fun I think the show is having. Like when people say, when there are haters out there that are like, oh, I don't know, man, it's just Karate Kid sequel, blah blah blah.
I hate when I hear that.
I know, and I'm like, well, the thing you have to understand is that, like, it's more than that. It's more than just a sequel. It's fun. It's like we're returning to the age of fun for television. The show is fun. It's got funny moments. It's got serious moments. It's got heartfelt moments. It's got love. It's got all kinds of stuff. But at the core, it's just fun. Like, it's so much fun to go back, and like the ridiculousness of how serious these grown adult men take karate. We all can laugh at that joke, but at the same time, we're still watching. No one's turning it off. Like, we're watching. I'm in the show, and I'm excited when I see the season come out, because I'm like, well, I gotta see how this whole season turns out. Like, what are we doing? Because I don't get the full script. I just get my episode. So it's like, I don't know what's happening 100%. So it's really, really fun to watch the full show and be like, wow, that's what they were doing. That's what they wanted to go with that, and it's entertaining. And like every time I think, I'll just probably watch my episode. No, I watched the whole show. Like, it's awesome. So it's just a testament to the writing, to the creators, and again, to the fans for supporting it,
I honestly hope we see Nestor again soon. And also, one thing to round this all off is, what were your thoughts on that insane ending for season 4? Because I think people could kind of see a little bit of a change with Silver in the way he saw Kreese, but you could see like some of the things you just weren't expecting, and just tell me how you feel.
I feel like I honestly, I didn't know where the show was going to go. I was kind of surprised. It wasn't a huge surprise, wasn't like a complete, 180, but it was definitely like, oh, okay, and I thought like, wow, so where do we go from here? Like, what are we feeling like is going to happen? I feel, personally, what do I want? I want Eagle Fang to take over the old Cobra Kai spot. I want the division between, Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang to be there with an understanding that like both styles have their validity. I would love to see them introduce another dojo in the valley somewhere. And maybe this idea though, that sort of the corporate mode of dojo creation, of Cobra Kai becoming like a chain now, they're going to create this massive kind of evil army, right? Like it's this mean army full of fighters that don't always fight fair, that are full of no mercy and, that kind of thing. So I would really love to see the potential for, Kreese. It would be cool if like maybe LaRusso bailed Kreese out and was like, listen, there's a good guy inside you, so like, let's work on who that person is. Or Johnny, one of those guys, to just kind of like get him out and really focus on, this guy's got clear PTS from war. So, would love to showcase a little support for the veterans in that. And then maybe we can see these dojos all sort of like not come together, but understand that we're all different, but that's good. And we all need our differences to be one big thing. But ultimately, Cobra Kai, what are we going to do about this big corporate dojo, And now the story has its legs now. Now the story can go wherever it wants to go. We can introduce brand new villains. We can introduce brand new concepts. MMA, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. These are really cool things that we haven't really tackled yet, being that we're really dealing with karate and its tradition of open hand fighting. It'd be really cool to see the introduction of some MMA elements. Who knows? The world is sort of open now. Like we've kind of formed our own universe, and now it's branching into the world at large. So I would love to see it just continue, but I want to see where they're gonna. I mean, we got Stingray now coming out of the woodwork with his he's going. I don't know. There's a lot that these characters can do, and yeah. I'm curious to see what they do. And of course, Miguel now on the hunt for his father. Like that's gonna get really interesting. The boy's gonna go to crime-ridden Mexico by himself. Like we're gonna get some real Rambo 4 Johnny Goes to Mexico to rescue Miguel stuff. I think
that would be pretty cool.
Nestor with him. He doesn't speak Spanish. Nestor does. He should take Nestor to Mexico to find Miguel.
Yeah, Nestor, I need your help.
He doesn't know anybody else. He knows me. Let's go.
Yeah, he definitely needs someone to translate, especially if he's trying to find Miguel's father. Or
it's gonna get Miguel, real messy if he doesn't.
Yeah. Vas, thank you so much for coming on, dude. It was super cool talking about Cobra Kai, but also geek out and talk about gaming and pop culture as a whole, man. It's been super fun talking to you, man. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, man. It's a blast. Thanks.
No worries. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed this. I will see you guys soon with another interview. Me and Vas are signing out. Vas, do you want to say anything to the fans before we sign off?
Man, I love you guys. If I have one thing to say, it's that I love you guys. You guys are all, the best fans. Please keep doing what you're doing. Follow the show. All the love, all the hashtags. Keep putting it out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you 1,000 times. Thank you for all the support. Keep your eyes peeled for season 5 and hopefully more Nestor in the following seasons.
Well, let's really hope he is back and for the future as well. Maybe Nestor becomes a huge part of the show. Take care, everybody.